What's up, everyone? This is Chris, back again alongside my two co-hosts, Crystal and Ty. This is, for the first time in over 8 months, the Pedal Dance Podcast. And today, Crystal, what do we have?
We have, I guess we'll start off by doing the Pokemon of the podcast. This is a brand new shining object of a Pokemon. We're totally objectifying it, obviously. It's a new variant. It's in the new downloadable content. Everyone liked the original form, but this new KFC friendly form is also cool. It is
Popeyes is better.
It is Galarian Zapdos. Stronger and more bulky than Haluchador, but Halucha can run circles and laps around Galarian Zapdos. Just FYI out there, I guess, since they're fighting flying.
Maybe fly circles, but I don't know about running.
I think they're both kind of flightless. I would have to double check
no.
that.
If you ever get attacked by Halucha in Sword and Shield, you will know it glides to you.
So glide, not fly. So, okay, but let's not give Halucha too much credit, since this is all about Galarian Zapdos and the topic of this podcast, which will just be about the Pokemon community at large.
Large. That's a good one.
So, since a large part of the community does involve the trading card game, I will turn this over to our trading card experts on the podcast, which will be Chris and Ty, and then I can jump in from the video game standpoints and other.
All right, sure thing, Crystal. We'll take it from here. Okay, so as you know, one thing I wanted to go on the rant about was the sudden unavailability of the Pokemon cards such as Champion's Path, but with it being a recent set and given our current circumstances, I was explained that might not be the best excuse to really come up with. However, that does not deteriorate from the fact that scalpers are the worst. Chris, would you care to comment?
Hi, I'm commenting. There.
Come on.
Yes, people are buying up everything and selling it for double to triple the price because of the whole situation at large, and it's hard to find anything. Go to any store, find booster packs, any type of collection boxes, collection tins, any other special items that they sell. For one example would be a trainer's toolkit. And a lot of this is just, it's hard because a lot of people are actually getting out of collecting cards because of this. And it's really sad to see. I have a lot of friends who have gotten, just recently, have just decided that they're not able to collect anymore because of this that's going on. And whenever you can get something for $30, but people are buying up every single one of them to sell them for like $80, $90, I can't really blame them for getting out of it. And this is not just for collectors. This is for people who play the card game competitively like I do, trying to find cards. And it's not just like items like this. This is just like going to eBay, just trying to find a specific card that you need.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it, but I did actually find 3 of the Wave 2 pin sets of Champions Path, along with the promo cards. I was able to find that on eBay for like $15. Code cards included at that, but I don't really use the code cards. But that was just for the promos and pins.
Right. And there are some cards now that their value has skyrocketed because of this whole thing. Like the most valuable card was bought for $900,000. Granted, it was a base set card. Yeah, granted, it was base set Charizard, which was graded and everything. But even cards now, like there's one card I have specifically that I remember posting on Instagram. By the way, follow my Instagram. That I didn't even know was going for a few $100s now. Last time I checked, it wasn't. It was still under like $50. And because of this whole thing going on, it shot up a great amount. And that's just one card. There's some other cards that are I bought for like $250 that are like $600-700 now because of this whole thing making just all these prices shoot way up. Eventually they're going to come down, I know, but the fact that it spiked so much is just really, really, really unfortunate for a lot of people, collectors and players.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
to reiterate what I said, it's scalpers. Scalpers are horrible.
Yeah.
They're the problem with the Pokemon TCG community.
But yeah, I was able to get me an Elite Trainer box at Champions Path, but I had to get it from a ship that was 4 hours away from home. And the only reason I got what I got was because we were working in the back room of a Target and found it there, and I was able to buy it straight away right off the truck.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there are people who are pre-ordering like sets in Japan to be shipped over here. And people aren't even able to get those Japanese sets because people are buying those up and selling them for like I said, double to triple the price. It's that bad.
Blankety blank blank.
Yeah. What I want to say, I wish I could, but we're trying to be PG here.
That's why I said blankety blank blank.
Right. But that's
yeah.
And a lot of famous people are getting into collecting the cards as well, and that also isn't helping a lot. That's almost as bad as the scalper. Yeah.
Famous people collecting cards, like who?
I don't know if you'd call them famous, but one being the YouTuber, and I use that term loosely, Logan Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's some rappers who are buying cards up. A rapper's the one who bought that for $900,000.
Wow. That is nuts.
Yeah. And it's because of the mainstream appeal from these people that are also making the price spike.
That is nuts.
Because Logan Paul selling I don't know if he's still selling them, but he was selling them for a lot of money. Just a single pack was like, I don't even know how much he was selling for, but it was way more than
I don't care for anybody with the last name Paul at this day and age, I tell you.
Fair enough, but let's not get into
that. Yeah. But yeah, so branching off of the TCG community, I think the next thing we probably ought to shed some light into is because this is a recent event that took place or what have you, but seems like when the Galar region was first introduced, you had people that were so against it because, oh, it's not going to have all the Pokemon, So, so yeah, like I don't really like how these people in the Pokemon community seem to think that they can influence other people to just boycott the franchise all of a sudden.
Oh, Dexit.
What?
Dexit. The
I
whole
don't know what that means.
Dexit is the boycott for the Galar games because all the Pokemon wasn't in it. It was because the Dex got cut.
Yeah, I'm aware of the reason why, but I didn't know there was a name for the boycott.
Yes, Dexit.
Okay.
It was kind of like it's a play off the Brexit boycott. But anyway, Crystal, would you have anything to say about the VGC since we're talking about the games now?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess I can weigh in. So just to be very upfront with our listeners, and I'm only going to go off topic a little bit because it will tie into this. Well, I was the main reason why it's been so long since we've done the Pedal Dance podcast. Because I was experiencing Pokemon burnout, Pokemon fatigue, the whole 9 yards. It was hard for me to even stomach looking at Pokemon, and I've never had that in my entire Pokemon career. And I was very much into the competitive and even semi-competitive video games, and I've been off the scene nowadays, so I don't know what's going on currently in that realm. I'm not ready to start that again. I am still working my way up, getting back into that, so I can only comment based on how I remember that territory. So, the community is a lot better, comparatively speaking. I know that there's a lot of online support, like some trainers looking for particular Pokemon and games that they could not get them in, like if they were exclusive to another game, like getting Dragology for their competitive team. There's just a whole lot of online support, which I really liked. But I have participated in a few tournaments. Some of the other players are... Some of them are really fun to play with. There are some players I even had fun losing to. But at the same time, some of them are just so uber gamers that there's just all they do. Before I put my foot in my mouth, I'm finding how to word this tactfully. You can tell that there are some gamers. This does not apply to all hardcore gamers. I have great friends that are hardcore gamers, but there are some hardcore gamers that all they do is just game, and that goes beyond Pokemon. Like, that is their life. That is what they aim to improve and be the best in, regardless of what game. So you can kind of tell that their passion is not fully there, and everything is just so calculated that occasionally when I lose to some of these gamers, or even right before losing, they always say GG for a good game, and it's just like, you haven't won yet. That did not sound sincere, and I don't know, that's just my personal rants of the gaming community portion of Pokemon. But again, I've been off the scene for quite some time on the competitive end, so
I didn't even know that was an acronym.
What? Sorry?
I didn't even know that was an acronym. The GG. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if anyone ever tells you GG, just give them a GG slap in the face. But I'm sorry, it just comes across as so insincere to me. Almost like, sorry, side rant again, but those people are like, "How's it going?" And you can tell they don't mean it. They're just saying it as like a greeting. It's kind of like, screw you. Well, I mean, I would say something else too, but we have to keep it PG. But yeah, staying on the right track. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of online support for this community, and there's always tips. Smogon, Smogin, whatever, is very resourceful, and I really learn a lot from them. But I guess that's all I really have to say. I'm sorry I'm not on the current scene. I would definitely comment on it if I.
Actually, I do think I could take that information though, Crystal, and I could probably trail off from there. But I think another good example that does come to mind that is, again, in current events, would be about the Zarude code. I don't know if you know this, but there was such a difficulty getting the distribution of the Zarude code out. Like, I'm part of the Pokemon newsletter, and the stupid part was I received an email before and after this event allegedly took place, but even I didn't get the Zarude code. But fortunately for me, and I know you just got through ranting about Ubers or whatever. I don't know if this was a cheated Pokemon or not, or Gen Pokemon or whatever they're calling it. Um, but I did get a Zarude from somebody in the Pokemon community because I flat out told him I didn't care if it was Gen. And the Zarude I did get has a purple scarf, which I'm told is a movie exclusive that was being distributed in Japan. However, this one has an English setting in its summary. Chris, I don't know if you would know anything about that, though. I'm guessing I did just kind of stopped abruptly, but feel free to
Yeah,
take over.
I honestly have no idea. I didn't know about the Zero distribution. I knew nothing about it, honestly.
Really? Because I think they told me, I'm trying to remember the cutoff date. I want to say it was December 22nd. And they're trying to say that, oh, well, because you didn't reach us in time, we can't give you a root code. It's like, well, it would have been one thing if I had known about the dates of the distribution, but like, I don't even know what the dates were, for crying out loud. But no, I get an email telling me prepare for the Zarude code, sitting here waiting on edge, like, and it's coming when? Like, I've had some friends of mine who were extremely upset about this. And one of my friends is actually jealous that I was able to get a Zarude in the first place. But again, it seems to me like the Pokemon community has been branching out more because I was able to find Facebook groups, and one of them's a public trade group, and that's how I was able to find somebody who would trade me as a Zarude. They didn't even care what I traded them in return. Some Pokemon that I've been catching because I do have the DLC include Politoads, Poliwhirls, and Licky Lickies. Um, because Licky Lickies, you got to trade to evolve them in the first place, right? So like I've been getting some of those Pokemon to trade in the GTS, and I ended up trading a Licky Licky for the Zarude. As far as the Poliwhirl and Politoads, on the other hand, I have been actually catching those to find King's Rocks, Hawlucha included for that matter, because for some reason or another, I read that Hawlucha can hold a King's Rock. I've been trying to get more King's Rock so we can get more Slowking in game. So, but yeah, that was something that was very much talked about in the Pokemon community. I think I haven't seen this much of an outrage since people were complaining about spoofers in Pokemon Go. So, but I know I'm the only one in this little group right here who actually plays Pokemon Go. So, I could pretty much go on that tirade as well for that matter. But yeah, I'm really jealous of spoofers. Uh, that does remind me. As a matter of fact, on my way home from work this morning, because I got home at like 6 in the morning this morning, uh, I passed by a gym and I see a Tropius in there. Tropius is an African exclusive. What is it doing in South Mississippi?
Maybe somebody's visiting from Africa.
Oh, I have a hard time believing that one.
I don't
But
know.
I
I'm just
mean,
trying
like,
to put something out there.
And
well, I've
I'm
also
just
seen
kind of,
chat.
oh, sorry,
Oh,
just for a little funny image. Now I'm just imagining this Troopia singing that song Africa when you encounter it.
Trippy is singing. What is this? Pokemon Mystery Dungeon?
Crystal, I hate you for that image.
Yeah. But yeah, Chatot is like a Canadian exclusive. I think Pachirisu is also Canadian. Give in mind they keep updating these geographical variants, so I can't remember off the top of my head what they all entail. Let's see. I know Torkoal was Asian. Relicanth is New Zealand. Kangaskong is Australia. Not too worried about the Kantos though, because they've made those readily available through 7 kilometer eggs at one point in time. So I do have all the Kanto Pokemon. But no, like these regional variants, they have was quite a controversy because they're only obtainable through regions. Um, and some of us have been trying to take advantage of that either through, like, say, the remote passes that they're doing because they got these remote raid passes now in Pokemon Go where you can actually raid anywhere in the world as long as you only invite 5 people. What? That thought somebody may have had a comment to add to that. Uh, but yeah, so but yeah, again, I this is about upsetting and toxicity or what have you. So yeah, even though I am kind of maybe over explaining the Pokemon Go factor a little bit because we so very rarely talk about it here. I think the key thing to remember here is that not everybody spoofs, okay, because that is kind of a factor. Another factor is especially with there's some regional locked legendaries, Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie. If you live in the States, Axelf, well, Azelf is probably the only one that you're probably going to be able to access for that matter because it might be difficult for you to friend somebody halfway around the world, even though I've been able to do that. I have Pokemon Go friends in like Germany and I think even Japan for that matter. Uh, but yeah, it's a pretty spread out community. But
And
again, there's just people who make bad situations worse and all that jazz. I've heard of people recently breaking lockdowns to go play Pokemon Go. Um, Also, if you're listening to this podcast and you are a Pokemon Go player, whatever you do, please don't break your state mandated lockdown or whatever region you live in. Don't go breaking your lockdown for Pokemon Go. It's not worth it. Okay, if you're trying to participate in the ongoing Sinnoh collection that's happening right now, well, no, not Sinnoh, Hoenn, my bad. If you're trying to participate in the Hoenn collection that's going on right now, Plusle and Minun will be available on Sunday, the 24th of January. So yes, you will be able to catch them then. So don't sweat it. Don't waste your incense. You're gonna need it for the Mareep Day on the 24th because they are having electric and dragon type spawns. So, but I think that's all I got to really say on Pokemon Go. So, trying to remember the other aspect of the community because I don't really see how the anime world can be toxic. Uh, any idea about
without,
toxic? Any idea about the toxicity that's going on following the anime portion of Pokemon?
not really, but after you wrapped up everything with Pokemon Go, if there's one thing to take away from that, it is that you are a total loser. Anyway, I don't know about the anime.
Hey,
I I don't know anything about the anime. I haven't been following the anime in years.
I know you can't see it right now, but I'm giving you some gestures.
I believe that.
So
Um,
I guess the person to comment on the anime would be the person who's been into it the more recent. Ty, when's the last time you've been into the anime?
Oh, well, I believe they wrapped up the Twilight Wings, but I was keeping up with that pretty regularly. Pokemon Journeys, I'm all caught up on. Um, But what happened to me with Kalos in the Alolan region is I was trying to get into it, and about like maybe halfway through the season or whatever, I'm just sitting there thinking, seems kind of unrealistic, and I just kind of withdraw from it or what have you. So like right around the time that, well, how can I say this without giving spoilers?
Give spoilers.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're referring to.
Yeah. But like especially the Alolan region, like the fact that Ash and his friends supposedly start taking on these more superior roles that seem well above their well, it just seemed far fetched to me, and not trying to make a pun here, but no, seriously, it's really far fetched, and I just did not really think of it as attainable. So I think that's why I like Journeys a lot better. Is it's definitely more realistic, and the fact that they're able to like explore from region to region, it's not just set in the Galar region. They explore everything. I think that's a very unique asset to Journeys. And I'm really grateful that they went out of their way to find somebody who was able to make a theme song exclusive for Pokemon. Uh, so, for those of you who may have watched Journeys or may not even know what I'm talking about, um, Journeys, they have this band called Walk Off the Earth. They're supposedly a Canadian band. Um, and that they were personally requested to make the theme song for Pokemon Journeys, and they did such a great job with it. They actually have a YouTube video going into detail about how they made the song, and you can find the full song as well on YouTube. And it's just so catchy and it's so heartwarming, and like I was crying tears of joy when I heard it myself, honestly, for the first time.
Okay, I
So
feel like we're
like,
getting off track on the topic.
yeah, maybe
No,
so. What?
so yeah, no offense, but I think we're getting really off topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but like, I just really wanted to emphasize the theme song because I felt like that was just, yeah. But but yeah. So again, with the toxicity, I guess I don't know. I think I was actually pretty on topic when I was getting into about how I deteriorated from the Alolan generation. So like, if anything. If there's anything toxic about it, I guess it'd probably be the story writing. So like I guess everybody's got their own opinions of that. So like, because
And
I
your
know,
opinion of that is a fact. I agree completely because when our opinions are aligned, it's a fact I have ruled. But yeah,
yeah,
uh, Journeys and Twilight with Edward and Jacob. Those were fine. Those were great.
don't you
But
go bringing Twilight into my Pokemon.
yeah, I couldn't resist the joke, but no matter how awful it was, but yeah, I had the same. I'm not sure if our reasons for not staying into the anime are the same or just really close, but at this point, we're assuming all of our listeners are at least past this part. I love the Gen 6 Colossus anime. I followed it up all until the very end, but I was demoralized to continue, as a lot of people were. It was just all leading up to Ash becoming the winner of the Pokemon League for the first time, and then that ending happened. And then they introduced the art style for the Alolan region anime, and it's just I can't. The combination of those two things just like I just kind of followed casually, like with internet updates, but I stopped proactively watching the anime. So the anime itself, the only thing that's really toxic is Toxapex. But
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm the person who's cracking dad jokes up in this podcast, but when it comes to the community, I don't really think there's really that much toxicity around the anime. Um,
Well, actually, I
I
could think of an example. Another example that I hadn't really mentioned though was when people go to ship characters with one another.
Yeah, there's some
And
toxicity with that.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't really see that much toxicity with that. I mean, it's just people shipping people together. It's just what they would like to see or what they want to see.
Oh,
I
that
don't think there's anything
reminds
wrong with
me.
it.
That reminds me. I saw a really disturbing comment made about Nessa. I think it went viral.
Apparently
But
not,
yeah,
because I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
Nessa. Nessa is the water type gym
I know who
leader
she
in
is.
Gallery.
I
Um,
know who she is.
well, she was in an episode of Twilight Wings, and somebody screenshotted an image of Nessa from the episode, and their caption had something to do with the 1800s. The 1800s. What was the? I don't think it was Plantoon, was it? Plantoon leader or something like that. But it was just a really messed up joke that pretty much was very well dated to the point of like it just yeah, like they're talking about I don't know if I can mention that on this chat though because I don't really know how controversial exactly how that was, but it basically brought about the era of slavery into into something that where it doesn't belong. It's crazy.
yeah, that sounds very toxic. Just hearing that
Yeah.
someone thought of that, but that does remind me of another category of the community, the meme community in Pokemon. Where have they been lately? I haven't seen a whole lot of Pokemon memes nowadays. Like, they've been good, like, for the past, like, several years ago, but have you all seen any Pokemon memes lately? Like, where's that community at? Are they lively?
Hmm. You
I
make
see
a
some
good
every
point.
now and then. I see some every now and then that are decent.
The most recent one I remember was the gasping Pikachu.
That one got
Yeah.
overdone. Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, very much so overdone. But the point though, like when they started replacing it with the table cat, you knew that was enough.
But
For
there are still some that are going around. I've seen some on the Instagram. And some of them are still pretty good, but it's not like it was. It's nowhere near like it was.
yeah,
Make
I miss
Pokemon
the ones where
memes
they're
great again.
well, I missed the one where they had the group of people sitting around the table, and you had these other people giving really bad suggestions, and they were getting praise or whatever. And this one guy says one smart idea and gets thrown out the building. Do you
Yes, I
remember
know.
those memes? Yes, I like those memes. Those are funny. I like those. But yeah, but I don't really know. It makes me wonder just how much the Pokemon community is possibly dying, and that does remind me. I feel a little out of touch because, as far as I know, the last Pokemon TCG set that got released was Vivid Voltage, but I think there's another one out now, isn't there?
Not yet.
Not yet. When is that?
Not
When is that debut?
in a couple months actually.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to us. And my birthday's already passed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, uh,
But
uh,
there is one more thing I want to touch on when it comes to toxicity.
uh-huh.
If you two are ready to move on.
Okay.
Yep.
And that is just the fan base as a whole. And that's, for example, there's a lot of um people within like the gaming community for Pokemon that have issues with people in the trading card game and don't see them as real fans. And I've encountered this before.
Oh. Mm.
And it's just really sad because I don't see why you can't like one aspect of the franchise and have to like in anything else just because you're not a. There are people who just like trading card games, and that's why they're into the Pokemon TCG. They don't have to be into the video games. A lot of people are into the TCG because they like card games, not because they like Pokemon. It's a fun game.
Yeah,
And
I can see your point there, and I actually had to break off a friendship with somebody before because this guy couldn't seem to wrap his head around the idea that Druddigon is not a normal type Pokemon like the TCG game that he's grown accustomed with. He's a dragon type Pokemon. But when I had him as a friend on Facebook and we were doing this thing based on Pokemon type, I assigned him a normal type. And he had the audacity to post a picture of a Druddigon card with the normal colorless typing. It's like, no, that doesn't qualify. Um, but I wasn't trying to invalidate him or discredit him for being a fan due to the TCG world. It's just that when you are a more what's the word a diverse fan than just the TCG, you do kind of want to be a stickler for things like that, I guess, or at least in my case. Um, because I mean there is a difference, and the TCG can always change up the typing for that Pokemon. It's not like it's that their true assigned type like it is with the anime and the video game. But
yeah,
that's just something I did want to point out because that's an example of maybe why they're getting this type of reputation. So
and also,
Oh,
I don't know. Go ahead, Crystal.
oh yeah, sorry, I was just gonna weigh in. If you wanted to follow up Ty's comment, then you can.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, I was just gonna add on. Yeah, the only time that they actually do change the typing in video games and anime is when a new type is being introduced, period.
yeah,
Like,
that's why
Magnemite.
it's the yeah, that's why it's the mainstream, and that's why I think that it should be the a universal typing for that Pokemon, given through the video game and the anime. But when you sit there and try to tie TCG typing into the Pokemon, that don't work well.
Oh yeah, agreed. But ultimately, there should only be one type of shaming in the Pokemon community, and one type alone, and that is shaming Jen Werners. Anything else is unacceptable.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say
boy.
I'm gonna say this about Gen Oneers. My favorite region is Kanto. I grew up playing the original. That was my first ever game. Was Pokemon Red. I grew up since the very beginning, playing since the very beginning. I'm sorry, it might be my favorite region, but there are just so many amazing designs, amazing Pokemon that are out there. There are so many other amazing regions out there. And the whole thing that Gen Warners complain about is running out of ideas. Um the whole thing with competitive whenever it comes to the video games like Eevees, Ivies, and stuff like that, there was none of that in there. You were just getting the strongest attacks on your Pokemon and just blasting everything that you could. And I'm sorry, that's just not a fact. They're not running out of ideas. They haven't. Stupid ideas have been around since Gen 1, but nobody's going to discredit those because Gen 1. Gen 1 would not be as popular as it is if it wasn't Gen 1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think if Gen 1 was Gen 4 and they came out with Grimer and Muck, people would like it? No.
That was actually my first example in my mind that I was going to bring up. Like, yeah, Grimer's just a slime thing.
It's a pile of sludge
It-
that evolves into a
I mean,
bigger
look at
pile of sludge.
Voltorb for crying out loud. It's just a Pokeball with eyes.
It's a Pokeball. What's it evolved into? Upside down Pokeball. Wow.
Yeah, you can't tell me that's creative.
Okay, let's give it another example. Geodude, a rock with arms.
You make a good point.
And don't get me wrong, I love these Pokemon. I'm a big fan of the Geodude line. Golem's one of my top 5 in Kanto. I love the line.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that there aren't any stupid designs.
I like that they made him a Burger King top back in the day.
And then, speaking of designs in Gen 1, I don't have any issues with this Pokemon's design, but of course there's a lot of hate towards the design of Mr. Mime.
I'm fine with how Mr. Mime looks, honestly.
Well, in Europe, mimes are actually considered European clowns. So,
Yeah.
like, mimes are the clowns of Europe. And
They're
since people
entertainers.
do have a clown phobia, they could probably be scared of mimes too, for that matter, given the
Yeah.
scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do not have a phobia or fear of clowns, so it doesn't bother
Neither
me.
do I.
I
See?
honestly think.
And I actually love Mr. Rhyme.
And then you have the hate on Execute for being eggs, and then it evolves into eggs in a tree.
Being it.
And
How do you
let's
go
not
from
forget about Silly String.
forget about what?
The Silly String Pokemon, Tangela.
I didn't really think of him as a silly string, but the second you said that, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
I didn't think of that either.
I see, I'm not alone.
Dang it, Crystal.
But yeah,
But overall, Gen 1ers have a lot to like about the first generation, but they need to realize that there's so much wrong with it.
honestly, I think it's wrong to hate something in general, especially when it's so creative and brings so much joy to other people. Like, how can you sit there and hate on it? Like, I mean, I could easily give an example of something I don't really care for, but you don't see me hating on it because I know it has a fan base of its own. Like,
Right. That's when you just
so,
hate the fan base. Anyway.
well, actually, I was thinking of like other franchises for that matter, but I don't really want to like give any accreditation to other franchises when we're doing a Pokemon podcast. That
Fair
would just
enough.
wouldn't make sense. So.
But there's one more thing I want to talk about in the Pokemon fan base, if that is fine. If you're done,
Okay.
Ty, Crystal.
Oh yeah, sure.
Get right ahead.
Okay, and that's when it comes to sexist people in the Pokemon community.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why a lot of this is mainly towards guys that think that some guys think that girls should not be into Pokemon. I do not understand that.
Me neither.
I do not understand why guys have to make sexist comments. Like, I have a friend. I have a lot of friends, actually. Okay, no, I don't. I'm lying. Anyway, I had some. Shut up. I have a friend who was telling me that she's been going through some things to where she'll win like a contest or something, and she'll get comments talking about how she only won because she's a girl. And I don't see why that matters. I don't see why somebody would get so upset they lost like a contest to message somebody out of nowhere just to say that they only won because they're female. I don't understand that. And then you have the group of guys who say, ooh, there's a female that likes the same things I do. And they start basically sexually harassing people, asking for certain types of pictures and other things. And I can't stand that.
Yeah, those people are the ones that get instantly blocked, in my opinion.
Have either of you had any experiences like that at all?
Well, given the fact that my name is considered to be gender neutral, most people don't even realize that I am female. And then on top of that, there's the sheer fact that even if I do try to get across to them, hey, yeah, I'm female, um, they still, most of these sexist pigs, they want to steer clear of me because then they start thinking that, well, I'm assuming that they're thinking maybe I'm trans or what have you, and that they're probably just low key, TERFs. So like, but again, toxicity comes in all different forms. So, and then I do still have um, and this isn't just with the Pokemon franchise. This is with other fandoms as well, for that matter. I will have random people who seem to target me for sexual harassment, even though they may not view it that way, just because we have similar interests and because they have met me in person. And I think that that's still just very wrong. So, yeah, but you're right. Like that whole sexual harassment thing needs to die.
It does. Crystal, have you ever had any experiences like that?
Um, so I guess just to be very transparent with our viewers, I am trans. So I kind of like left more off the scene of Pokemon, like super competitively after I went into my transition, mostly out of my own, I guess you could say protection, because like I looked like straight up a he/she, I guess, in my view. Like, is that a guy? Is that a girl? Like, what is that thing? Is probably what people would say when they saw me during the time. So that's why I backed down. But I still haven't really been as competitive going into it, just because I know that sexism it exists. But I guess I haven't really put myself in that moment of opportunity or risk to be in those situations. So I know that's kind of a non-answer, but it's more fear than anything else, because I do see that happening to other women, and um, I haven't really seen other trans women in those situations, just because maybe they have the same fears I do. Like, women go through heck, trans women go through additional heck.
Yeah.
So I know that's like a non-answer, but it's just something I have not experienced because I haven't really put myself out there as much anymore.
That's fair. That's completely fair. Honestly, I do not blame you at all. At all. Especially
Yeah.
nowadays. It's worse now than it has been in a long time. It's really bad now. And it's a shame.
Yeah. There's just so much divisiveness going on. It's crazy. But I will never stop appreciating the community that at least has the audacity to ask me what my pronouns are.
Some people are like that. Some people just don't give a you know what. And it's sad.
Yep,
Yeah.
and even with all the divisiveness, there is one thing that we all can agree on. Durant sucks.
Agreed.
Only when I'm trying to catch him in Pokemon Go and he keeps trying to gnaw at the ball.
Okay, so yeah, now we are all united behind disliking Durant. So, any final thoughts
I
or
hope you don't
comments
buy
before
one
we close this
shiny. It's going to
podcast?
Yes, I do want to say something. Whenever I was going over the TCG, I was talking about how a lot of the surging happened because famous people were starting to get in on it. I just want to make it clear that I have no issue with them getting in on it. I'm just stating a fact that it is one of the reasons that it has spiked the way it has. Like
They just
with
need to meet the supply and demand, but given the current circumstance, meeting supply and demand has been the ultimate challenge in this endeavor. So,
I'm not talking about the scalpers. They can go
but
well, they can pick up on
I'm not either. I'm talking about supply and demand. It's the simple distribution point of the manufacturing of all the stuff being requested. Like,
but
because
Ty,
there's a lot that goes in.
I'm not talking about just the newer stuff. I'm talking about just like anybody who's trying to complete an older collection or something like that.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and like that one card I told you for 900,000, that was a
Yeah, yeah.
base set Charizard. That was a base set Charizard. That wasn't anything new.
Yeah, I'm
And,
I'm the one who's
and
focused on
that's
the new.
right. And stuff like that, because that other cards from around that era are starting to go up in price as well because
Yeah,
of someone that well known buying something for that much. And when it,
I
like I said, I have no problems with any of them wanting to get that. They wanted it and stuff like that. I understand, that's fine. It basically it is a business. That's just how it is to some people, and I understand that. I
mhm.
Like I said, I have nothing wrong with them except for the scalpers. I like people like the rappers, like Logan Paul. I have no issues with that. If that's what they want to do, that's what they can do. I'm just stating a fact that that is one of the reasons why there is a spike.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to throw shade at them, as the kids say nowadays, at them. I just wanted to,
Yeah, you're not spilling tea, yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to say what I had to say. So I said it, and I'm good. Ty, Crystal, do you have anything you want to say?
Uh, I don't really feel like going into another rant. I feel like I've done enough
Okay, good.
talking. So.
Thank you.
And I already made my final comment about Durant, so I am good. So I guess if we're all good, I'll go ahead and close things up with
Later.
a prayer. No, just kidding. Oh, this is
Oh,
the Pep Dance podcast, not the Prayer Dance podcast.
oh,
Uh,
don't do that.
wait, what?
Said, don't do that to me. You almost gave me a heart
Me
attack.
neither, please.
And now we're gonna get shamed for me making that joke. Okay. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for joining us for today's episode of the Pedal Dance Podcast. We again apologize for being out so long. We will be back sooner than this wait that happened between the last podcast episode and now. We'll we'll upload when we upload. Gosh, we are so committed. But yeah, feel free to like, share, subscribe, um,
Report.
report. Yes, honest, honestly, with some of the words that kind of slipped out of our mouths, I think they could actually successfully report something. I'm not sure what, but I have that feeling in my gut. But
Yeah.
anywho, I guess we'll just sign off.
At
See you
least they
all
did
next
not hear us before we started recording.
True. But yeah, we will see you all next podcast episode. Adios.
Later.
Yep.